Welcome to our weekly podcast, Real Talk with Chris and Ross. We are designed for entrepreneurs and forward thinkers. We also care very heavily around the real estate industry as a whole, bringing you hot topics and up-to-date content with a lot of amazing special guest speakers along the way. So sit back, buckle your seatbelt, and get ready for the best hour of your day.
Yo, I love that intro, Rick Ross. I'm going to call you Rick Ross, man. It sounds better, Rick Ross.
Hey.
Welcome to Real Talk. Welcome to Real Talk with Chris and Ross, episode 48. Super excited and pumped to be back doing this. Ross, my co-host of the Mostest. How are you doing, my friend, out in Michigan? How you holding it down, my friend?
Man, any better I'd be two people. I got to tell you, if you ever seen that movie Talladega Nights where he says I'm jacked up on Mountain Dew, right now, yeah. Celsius has your boy on a next level. I feel like we could write 10 business plans. That's where we're at.
Dude, is Celsius like the new Red Bull, gives you wings?
It's supposed to be the cleaner version of the two, but yeah.
Is there such a thing anymore? There's always a cleaner version of it. If they can find a cleaner version of me, that would be spectacular. Oh my God. It would be called Celsius as well, I think.
We got a great episode, though, and I'm super excited because we have Cara in the building today. Let's go. Yes.
Welcome, hey, Cara Crimmins. Cara Crimmins out here from Hawaii, out in Maui. I'm obviously on the Oahu, opinionated best island, but we'll go there. Anyways, yes, welcome, Cara, as a special guest. Always see Real Talk with Chris and Ross, a channel focused on entrepreneurs, business owners, real estate, obviously, because me and Ross and Cara, by the way, is in real estate for, dozens of years. But at this point, we love to connect and bring tons of value to you guys. And today, Cara is a guest on the show. Two reasons why. One, because she's fucking spectacular as a human being. But secondly, we are putting together as a partnership to create a whole new program next year because we come together, we put our minds, and we realize there's a lot of things going on in life right now. And Ross, you can attest this. I do believe right now we're in a place in which people are drowning. Mm-hmm. They're drowning either mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, physically, on so many different levels, and they're just looking to connect. We're all been disconnected. I think this is all due to COVID in 2020. Spearheaded all of it. But now we're in a place that everybody's just looking to connect to something, somewhere, somehow. And we need to bring something to the table. So we created this series called You Matter Series 2025. We're going to talk about that today a little bit, but we're kicking it off. But as you know, Ross, we always love getting into our number one subject, which is always mindset, man. Fix that thing 6 inches between your ears. If you can't fix that, you are doomed. I don't care how successful you think you are in your place and mind you are right now. Again, I get it. Maybe it's your version of success that you've reached, and I'm not knocking that. But the reality is you're obviously probably hit a plateau, a ceiling of some level where you're not moving forward, you're not progressing. And my question is, are you living to your full potential? That's one of the things that I'm reading the book now, the Grant Cardone, Be Obsessed or Be Average. It's my third time reading that book, by the way. And in there's a lot of things that Grant Cardone is very obsessive about. People who know him or have watched his videos or attended his events, he's almost borderline neurotic. People will actually say that, right? He's kind of crazy, over the top. And you got that crowd of people on the left that think he's amazing, great visionary, respect the hell out of him. And the other end of him thinks he's crazy, neurotic, off the charts, wow, that's insane. You should slow down and enjoy life a little bit, smell the roses. There's two ends of that table. And I believe that the key to it, though, in my opinion, is, are you living to your fullest potential? And if you're not living to your fullest potential as a human being that's been put on this earth as a purpose, you should be living at your fullest potential. So anyways, that's our subject. That's our conversation. We want to introduce the You Matter Series 2025. And what better person to bring on? Cara, introduce yourself, please, real quick. Kind of give everybody a synopsis of who you are so they get it right.
Goodness. So, hey, y'all. I'm Cara Crimmins, and I am your curiosity to clarity coach. And I am obsessed, like Chris says, about the mind and about the mindset. I was an Alzheimer's nurse for a lot of years, and it was something that hit my family. And I was just ever since I was 8 years old, obsessed with how we think, who we are, how we fit in society, why we do the things the way we do, and how do we overcome it. Because I watched my dad my whole life. He was the one who had Alzheimer's, and he was so strong in his mind. He's always like, just go, 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 be positive, think positive, mind over matter. You can do anything if you just believe it to be true. I mean, I was fed that my whole entire life. So I was looking at this going, this man has this beautiful mind for strength and perseverance. But then that disease came upon him. So then after that, I just dug in. How can we really blend our mind and body connection? And what can we do to fuse that drive into action and making sure that we have the ability to persevere and put good things in to keep our mind and our body healthy? So that's where I'm at. That's where I was blessed to be able to come alongside with you, Chris, because in real estate or in any other business I've ever done, the number one thing that matters most is you. And I believe that love is the core of all things, and that this is why I've been put on this earth, is to make sure every single person knows that they're seen, they're heard, and they're loved genuinely, and that they can get through anything together. If we come together where two or more gather, you know the rest, Ross. So, you know, hey, I could preach all day long.
To take up an offering. All right, let's go.
Like, let's do it. And it is about that. It is so about that. So to have the opportunity to enlighten a community, or as we would think is real estate is kind of corporate. It's a business in a lot of ways you look at it. But to bring the heart and humanity into that, anything is achievable if we stand on that truth. Anything is believable to that rawness that we create through that love and authenticity. So whether you want to sell houses or sell shoes or, you know, weave baskets, whatever the hell you want to do, it has to come from that core center of be real, be you, be authentic, be love, and be true to yourself. So that's what I'm excited to bring to this world, because I've been edging to do it for years, you know, behind the scenes, you know, pre-COVID, where everybody was, you have to do it this way. No, I've been pounding on that big glass wall to break that sucker down. I'm sick of having all the rules. Like, let's go. I'm done. Let's bring the heart out. And this is the year. This is the year. It's so profound. You can see it in every bit of media, social media. We're all into, you know, motiversity and inspirational thoughts, but let's live it. My next tattoo is be love in action. And that is a true statement of in your core, knowing that you can move through love. So that's who I am. I'm blessed to be able to be part of the Chris team and Team Freedom to do this and bring it out to as many people as we can. And it's an honor to meet you too, Ross. So that's me.
Man, I got to say, so it's so cool, one, to be on this podcast and one, hear your story right now. But I know we talk a little bit before we go on live and we record, but Chris, it's so great to see like just the amazing lives that people have lived and the experiences. Like, you know, Cara, before even hearing that, like, I didn't even know what you were going to say when you were going to tell me about yourself, because this is really the first time meeting you. And I'm like, wow, what an amazing human being. I just want to applaud you, because way to turn your pain into purpose.
Amen.
Literally, your father's experience, and I really appreciate you sharing that with us, and just being so real and authentic, turned, you know, that pain of what you saw your father go through, you turned into a purpose. And I see the biggest changes in the world by people who do just that. And way to honor your father with such an amazing legacy. Clearly, the lessons and mindset that he taught you is carrying and living through you, and you're just taking it to the moon. So I love that. So that's super cool. You know, and Chris, honestly, dude, I got to tell you, can it get more real than just having people who are like fired up about life? Like Cara, you know, you are literally connected right now. You can tell, like, you are living your best version because you're giving back to people. So man, what an awesome time, guys. I could already tell if you're listening to this right now, this podcast, whether you're watching it on YouTube or it's in your ears, you need to stay in, because I know Chris and Cara have great things coming for 25, and they got a plan. What's the plan? What's happening?
Well, let's start off with this part. Yes, you should actually see her energy, Ross, in person. It's so much more magnanimous. Yeah, the video is cool. Nothing against you, Cara. But when you get her in person, it's that freaking in-person energy that we're all balls of energy, right? And this is one of the things, like, when I started thinking about what I wanted to do next year, I started this in June. I was like, all right, we're going to really build something off of 2025. And I was really contemplating the things I needed. And then I was like, the best person to really put some things together, honestly, I was like, well, Cara. I like, she's great at coaching. She's great at all this stuff. She's in the mindset space. And I thought, you know what? And she brings a lot of purity to this that I don't. So I was like, and so she's like, I finally get to break the chains. I'm like, well, then welcome home. Because I'm about to break these motherfuckers right out the lid. Because I don't apologize for anything. This is my thing. So yes, I'm the same way. But here's a subject that if we go talk to anybody about, you get these people in the group that will sit there and cringe and judge and criticize you with a closed off mind and a heart about this is just dumb. It's stupid. It's just, who talks about this stuff anyways? It doesn't make any sense. I'm just going to go out and work really, really hard. And I know that it's going to happen, right? But it's not sustainable. So we have this first kick where you're going to really encounter a lot of people right now who do not like to talk about this kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. It's like almost cliche. Like, oh, here we go again. Talking about our thoughts and our minds and our hearts and our feelings. Most men are absolutely polar opposites of that. We do not like to talk about our feelings. Mm. I kind of break that mold. I'm the most authentic person that you probably can see. I mean, you guys don't know me well. I don't give two shits. I will say whatever I got to say, and I'll apologize to no one for it because this is my life. And in all reality, it made it more impactful to me because I was watching this reel today. I told you about this, Cara. This guy who says if you're in your 50s right now, you've lived like 68.9% of your life already. Like almost 70% of your life has been lived right now because the average lifespan is like 76 for a man and 79 for a woman, like averages. And so I'm like thinking to myself, fuck, that's me. I'm in my 50s. I've lived almost 70% of my life, which means that mathematically I have about 26 more years left. Can you put that into perspective? 26 more Christmases, 26 more Thanksgivings, 26 more holidays, summers, winters, falls. There's so many, I don't know the math on it. He made a number of like how many more weekends you actually have left. And you put it into that like granular aspect, it makes you want to shit in your pants because you realize, man, I've been living my life. 50 years has flown by like that. 26 is going to be a blink of an eye. Where am I making the most impact? Where am I making the most value to myself and to those that are around me? This is how it spearheaded it all up.
Yep.
So now we're creating the You Matter series. And I know that it's right, Cara. Everybody matters. I matter. You matter, Ross. Cara matters. We all matter. And in some level, shape, or form, the reason why people are not showing up today in their truest form, they're hitting their fullest potentials because there's a disconnect between their value system, their belief system, their worthiness, and where they believe they deserve it. And that does not compel them to live their full potential. It's almost like we're just cruising through life and we're accepting that everything is just okay where it's at. How do you live life? I'm sorry. How do you live life that when I got 26 more years left and you put it in that aspect, how am I going to live my life every day? I wake up and remember like, okay, it's okay that I'm just okay. And I'm okay with mediocrity and I'll just be okay. And I'll just
complacency,
right? Complacency. As a human being, your purpose, Cara's purpose, she mentioned her purpose. She figured out her purpose. I figured out my purpose. Ross, you know what your purpose is. I want to be a kingmaker. I want to empower, elevate, and inspire, influence people. Every time I pour into someone my leadership of whatever I have, they're going to reach new levels, period. That's what I want to do. So that's my purpose. Here we go. 2025 is going to be that series. At EXPCon this year, we had a great guest. The keynote speaker was Will Guidara. Read about him, YouTube him, find out who he is. He owned the best #1 restaurant in New York in the time. Out of 1 out of 50, they ranked #1. It's called 11 Madison Gardens, the best restaurant in the history of real estate. Restaurants. And his whole conversation was about unreasonable hospitality and how they reached to be #1 was not about the food, the dishes, and the meals. It was about the experience that people, when they came into that restaurant, they bar none had the best experience of their life. And it was that propelled them because they were doing things that were most eyes unreasonable, crazy, out of this world. Like, why would you do that? That is what made them #1. So that's kind of how this whole thing started. That's where we're at. Cara is the same way. We both love it, very passionate about it. So a couple things we're talking about. Let's talk about that in the beginning, Cara. Like what made you?
I just open something up too. I want to tag on before you jump into that, because the first thing that I hear when you said in the beginning, hey, what this You Matter series, some of the stuff people are going to look at and go, oh, I've heard that 1,000 times. Man, do I really need to apply it? Do I really need to listen to, this? I just want to the listener out there, to the agent out there, to the person that's maybe the entrepreneur or just needs that to plug into our group to get a part of this series. I want to challenge you with something. If I cut my grass this week, okay, and next week I just decide, well, no, I cut my grass last week. Doesn't my grass still grow? If I just go through the seasons of Michigan and my leaves come down every year, I have to go out in the fall, especially here in Michigan. I got to clean those leaves. I could say, well, last year I did the leaves. Do I have to do them this year? And so that house cleaning is so important because one, you are going to get better systems and more clarity on your vision. You're going to have a better understanding, seeing things again. I mean, Chris, I hear you often, you even said this time with Grant Cardone, you said third time reading Unleash the Power Within. I've read Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, probably 5 to 10 times. Shoot, I'm reading Truthful Living right now. I'm on my third time that he wrote. And so why is that so important for the person listening? Because if what you're hearing with people who are trying to be successful is that actually repetitiveness is good. And try to come from it from a fresh perspective. Try to see that. Chris, I know you, man. You're like me. You got that squirrel syndrome, man. Shiny object, right? Our mind can't stand still. So I know for a fact, especially with seeing your passion, Cara, that you're only going to have stuff that you would use. 1, 2, that it works, and 3, you're going to make it as simple as possible for not only the application, but to see the results. I just know that, knowing Chris, and obviously if he's partnering here with Cara, I already know that's a done
Nailed
deal.
It.
So for everybody listening, really take that time to ask yourself, hey, could I use that house cleaning? 2025 is going to be here next year, and we're already wrapping up 2024. I feel like it was yesterday I started 2024, right in the business plan, looking at right here we are. Are you celebrating what you did this year? And if you're not, then I know you need to be a part of this You Matter series. If you're not celebrating your success, and I'll even do you one better. If you are celebrating this year because you hit all your goals, friend, I got news for you. If you want to get to the next level, you're going to have to look in the mirror. You're going to have to see that you need change, because the minute we think that we got it all, it's over. We've already lost connection with our customer, connection to get to the next level. And it is so important to hear like-minded people. So I'm fired up about this series and can't wait to get plugged in.
I'll just say real quick, Karen. But yeah, for those who may have reached your goal, by the way, congratulations. Not knocking that. But I'll tell you right this, your goals weren't big enough. Your goals weren't big enough. I'll put you on the front sheet right now. Like if you reach your goals, goals are not meant to reach, in my opinion. They're meant to make a carrot that drags you constantly. Those who reach their goals, they're too small. They weren't big enough. That's all I'm going to say about that. Not knocking that, but congratulations. Yeah. Cara, I know you're biting your tongue over there, girl. I know you have something to say about this.
No, I'm just like, preach. Ross, you nailed it, like over and over and over. You know that it is about repetitive action. It is about the Napoleon Hill reading it 17 times and the Grant Cardone reading it 3 times. Everything is about repetition. I couldn't have said anything that you said better, except that I was sitting here going, yes, we have seen success, and success follows success. And those successful people, I mean, I love my buddy, Bob Proctor. God rest his soul. He is my buddy, Bob. I call him Buddy Bob Proctor. And I have studied him for so long. He's just a simple, humble, jolly guy. And he did the same thing that you spoke about, Ross, is he had that book. He put himself in an uncomfortable position. He went out of his life to go into a new life because he had a vision for a new way. And he followed that success. And he listened to Napoleon Hill over and over and over and over in a car with a record player. I mean, like, dude, he was inventive in those days, not like on your phone. He was in it. And he had that little back pocket goal. And he had that, like a card that he had all the way to the last minute of his life. And that's the kind of dedication that we think squirrel, we're all squirrel, but there's one thing that I believe that we all have is perseverance. And that's the core of I will not give up. I will not give up. We've probably all been beaten down and we get tired and we we're over it, you know? And then no, there's this heartbeat inside of us that says, get up, get moving. This is not over. You have a job to do. Go. And that's where we have to impart on people in this series. Is like, yeah, this is not just do your numbers and know what your why is. You have to have a burning desire inside of you that gets you up every fucking day. That just makes you go, this is it. I don't want to live this way anymore. I don't want to have these chains. F these chains, like done. But remember that these people, no matter where they are in their life, the success, the highest, that's still going for that next level, or just looking up thinking, I wish I could. That's what this series is for. It's for every single person, because no matter how much business needs to be done or how much money needs to be gained, if you don't have a core strength inside of who you are and know what the hell your values are, and to have any clue of who you are, life is going to run you. Now, the question is, are you going to live? Or are you going to let life take you over? That's the simple mic drop. We're done not living. We've all been under this rock. We were entrained. The whole entire world was entrained to be hopeless. There's this hopelessness that came through every person that we've been feeling it. We're still trying to shake it off. We don't believe that there's a possibility of being able to move forward or being able to have anything to look forward to. My generation of teenagers, they're hopeless. Bullshit. I am bringing in love and breathing in life into them. And that's my commitment to every single person that I touch is, are we breathing life into you? Are we breathing life into every situation, into ourselves? Are we speaking death? Are we speaking, I'm so tired, I can't do this anymore, wah, wah. I didn't sell my house, or they canceled and went with somebody else, wah, wah. No, get up and go. Move forward. Put good in. That's what this series is for. Whew!
I love that. I want to add that too. I feel like it all started, like, I believe every human being has a dream. Like, as a child, for most kids growing up in a normal life, they have this idea and concept and a belief and a dream they want to be something. Some kids want to be firefighters. Some people want to be Superman. Whatever your mind takes you to be as a child, it's that childlike beginning that has the ability to let your mind believe that anything is possible.
Come on.
Anything is possible. That is the key element in my mind, I think, that's missing. As a child, innocently, we believed we had a dream to be whatever we wanted to be. And if we had that support system right in our family that like helped support that and align with that, then we would do it. But the truth is, we ourselves believed that anything was possible, and nobody told us any differently. Where did we get to a place in life where all of a sudden we were told we can't, starting with ourselves, we can't do it. I can't do it. This is not possible. Oh, if only I could do this, I could do that. Oh, I'm not living my full dream, so I'm just going to live in this little boring, straight, mediocre life because I just don't think it's possible for me. This is where I want to break out of that series, because we go back to, you do matter. You matter, mean that everything about you and your life matters. Everything starts with you, ends with you, always has and always will. So where do you start now? It's never too late. You could be 60 and think, you know what? I want to live my life. I want to live my dream. I want to live my fullest potential. And that's fine. Go for it at 60. There's no reason why you can't start it. Anything is possible. Better late than never, as they say, right?
Look at Warren Buffett. Look at Warren Buffett and where he started his wealth. He started in his 60s, and he had the massive amount of his wealth at that time from then forward.
Right.
So it's possible. We don't have to do that. Oh, if it's too late, if I didn't do it now, then, whatever. Don't give up. Don't give up. No. Sorry, just backing off on that.
No, I like it. Well, to be honest, right. So many examples of that. Sorry. Yeah. Colonel Sanders, freaking right. Walt Disney. They all started in their 40s, 50s, and 60s.
Yep.
1000%. Chris, I want to piggyback off what you were saying. My son, actually, when you're talking about just, looking at it from when we were kids and excited about life, excited about the future. We were so like open-minded to what the possibilities were for our life. I bring my son to work with me every once in a while if it's a showing here and there, but never do an open house because, he's 5. He wasn't quite ready. Maybe 2 hours at a house, he might kind of lose patience, whatever. But this time I said, I think you're ready. Let's go. He's begging me, Dad, I want to go to work. I want to go to work.
Oh, nice.
The reason why he wants to go to work is because he sees his sister go to work. And you'll see where I'm going with this. And she often, if she sells a house, I like to reward her. And hey, you get a toy or something like that if she makes a sale. And so I bring back with me to this open house. And here I am going through my mundane tasks, thinking, okay, I'm going to set up the open house, put my signs out, put the coffee out. All right, sit and do what? Wait for people to come to the door. My son is under the impression that the only way he gets a toy is if the house is sold.
Yeah.
So he comes up to me. We're 15 minutes. No one's come to the house. And he goes, Dad, what are we doing? I go, what do you mean? He said, we need to go out and knock on the neighbors' doors. We need to go out in the street. We need to start letting people in. He starts leading me out the front door. And he's like telling people that are walking their dog, we got a house for sale. Come on in. Do you want to look? So his mind said that, well, there's opportunity out here. There's all these people. And he came from a fresh perspective. He came from there's all this opportunity. But see, 3-year-old Ross thinking, oh, I'm doing my task, kind of went through the motions, didn't see the opportunity. So I went through and sat there and waited. And my son at 5 years old taught me, no. I need to have that childlike faith that we talk about. I need to have that childlike understanding for more opportunity because there is more opportunity. We just have to get outside of ourselves and make it happen. And yeah, so it was great. It was funny. My son was legit like reeling people in, and yeah, it was a ball.
I love that, man. Yeah. What a perspective that makes you really rethink things.
That's what I'm saying.
My mind's blown. So it's WWAKD is what we need to have as our thing, is what would a kid do? That's freaking awesome. WWAKD. And people be like, what would a kid do? That's the true childlike curiosity. That's one of the things that we talk about, is the best way to get out of judgment or self-condemnation is to be in curiosity. I always do this thing with my kids or with people that I coach, is I go like this. That simple move. And I smile. It's like, what's around the corner? What's around the corner? And then when you get that feeling and that smile on your face and your eyes get all big and you're like, what's around the corner? Then everything freaking changes. Your whole perspective changes. No matter how crappy anything is or how mundane, right? Oh, I'm just doing the open house signs. I have to tell you. As you said open house signs, I cringed. I was like, oh, that's one of the bane to my existence, is putting out those open house signs. But if I went in and I had this is fun. Like, who can if I was dancing, putting out the signs, you think I'd get some recognition doing it? Hey, come and have a party, like change it up. That unreasonable hospitality is you get excited about the mundane things again, because a kid is not going to do anything that doesn't serve their inner purpose of joy.
That's right.
Kids want to have fun. I mean, that adage, girls want to have fun. Hey, I love that song. It's my favorite. But if we do that now as adults, everyone knows that I refuse to grow up. I'm a kid. I am a kid perpetually. I refuse to grow up, because having that joy and that perspective of joy and curiosity, looking at every single size, every little microscopic thing that you go through in life, that elevates your beliefs. It elevates your world. I mean, Chris, you said it, is that when you see me in person, and it's not egoic saying this, I live that joy bubble. I carry it around with me. I walk in and I'm like, I love everybody because I love myself. I love you. And it's like, and that's the childlike energy that I hope to bring to the world. And we need to have more and more people to shed all of the shackles, get all that, guilt and shame and jealousy, whatever it is, get it off of them so we can live in our authentic truth and live in that place of joy. That's childlike joy.
Come on.
WWAKD. That's our new.
And to put the cherry on the top, I'll say this. We had about 9 groups come through, and almost, I think it was like 7 of them were like, you guys are so happy, so eccentric. Because, my son was just pouring that joy out. They're like, can you be my agent? Can I work with you? Can I do this? And so it just gave me a new understanding when I was hearing you speak about just having that, opportunity for life when you wake up and really trying to see things from a different perspective. Guys, it's so true, because when people can feel that you're excited about life and you want to be that problem solver, and you're just, like you said, Cara, you're looking around the corner, what's next? Oh my gosh, it has to be good. That is when life just begins to unfold, and people want to be around that. They want that, because we're all craving that. We all want that connection. We all want to feel, valued, and that our needs are taken care of. And we want to work with people that are loving what they do. No one wants to go to somebody, especially if you're working with a professional, where they're like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We want that excitement, And what I believe the You Matter series is going to do, from what I'm hearing, and I'm excited to jump in, is you're going to help create that excitement in everybody. You're going to help realign to put that shift in focus. So when you don't want to do it, you can still do it, because that's the roadblock most of us have.
100%. I want to say this too. Interestingly, your son, like, if you really want to break it down to its core, he really showed up because he wanted a toy. Like, he connected the 1 + 1 is a toy.
Yes.
Something as simple as a toy. Again, very basic and rudimentary, but the reality is that's life. It's so simple. There's so many little things, the small things that count, small things that matter. Mm-hmm. And a toy is what propelled and motivated your son to be so excited and do the things that, honestly, Ross, you weren't doing for whatever reasons. And there's nothing against you. I'm just saying, right?
No.
So yes.
+1 is 2. Yeah.
How simple little toy motivated him to go do what he needed to do. So what does it take for you to motivate yourself? So to jump on that series, we'll start about the kicker off we have. This is going to be a 13-month, by the way. This is not a 1-off or a 2-off or once a quarter, so everybody gets to go to sleep after the first quarter and forget about everything you do. This is going to be in your face, 13 months, every month, starting December, which is in 23 days from now, our first event, all the way through December of 2025. This You Matter series, 2025. So we have a lot on the plate. And Cara has been working diligently, doing some amazing things. She'll take it to the next level, honestly. I mean, again, people work together well. I have these ideas, these visions, these creativities of this. Cara's like, wow, we're going to take it one step further. And we're building this thing out, which is an entire binder that is going to be a printable binder that will go with every agent every month as they go from event to event, because they're all going to be in person live. And it's like a sense of accountability. It's like giving a kid something that he has to hold on to and bring every day to school. A lunchbox, a keychain, whatever that they have, like, oh, I got to hold on to this. This is important. I want to create that same energy of this is important. This is your lifeline. This is your life vest, in that sense of us all drowning. And it'll start off through the entire year. So, and it's one step that one up that she's like, well, let's make it digital.
Digital. Yeah.
Let's go digital, because of course, EXP, we're the innovators and the path leaders for cloud and AI, and we are the tech company of all tech companies. I'm going to say that, shameless plug. But yes, the truth is, why not? So we went digital. She created this whole entire same book in a digital format that now will be accessible both ways, that allows a lot more like scalability and leverage now. Like, there's no ceilings or lids in this book that we can create, change, innovate, move around on a monthly, on a weekly, on a daily if we wanted to make this stuff continue to evolve as we go down this path in 13 months. The first series we decided to kick off was the traditional, obviously, business planning clinic. Now, I hate that word. I think it's so cliche. Yes, I do. I think it's one of those things I picture in my mind, the Ferris Bueller, and everybody sitting in school and the teachers at the front desk, Bueller, 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 like this, so that like
girls pulling their gum out.
Like, okay, here we go. Business class 101. I've been to 50,000 of these again. And the truth is, we know the person goes, sits in the group in a chair, kind of stays closed off, doesn't want to be called out, sits there with his pen and paper, and he writes down those things that we talk about at a traditional business planning, like, right? Well, you should be doing this kind of activity. You should be getting these kind of results. You should be in this kind of CRM. You should be doing this many deals because you want this much volume with this much GCI to make this much kind of revenue, like blah, 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 blah. And what happens to that piece of paper that they write on, scribble on, and write 4 of their notes on? They throw it in their car, the bottom of their bag. It goes in there, and they'll never look at it ever again for probably 6 months, right? Because there just is no execution on that. There's none. And then at the end of the year, 6 months goes by, 8 months goes by, 10 months goes by. And then here we are again, October, November, holiday season. We're looking back and holy shit, we didn't reach our goal. We weren't even close to it. Why? Why is everybody else out there supposedly, quote unquote, reaching their goals, but I'm not? There's a reason why. And there's an execution piece, a launching piece that didn't ever happen. There's a failure to launch that didn't happen in December or January when you did your planning clinic in December or November. And that's what we're trying to fix. That disconnect, that bridge of why you didn't show up and didn't execute. And I can tell you why. 100% of it is because you didn't have a value in your belief that you were worthy enough to have what you wanted to have. Everything's executed based on what you believe you deserve to have. If you don't believe you deserve to have it, you're never going to execute on it. You'll never think you're worthy of it. You're never going to execute on it, period. That's where it starts. And so I want to have, like, Carrie, you want to talk a little bit about that, like how this digital book's going to look, it's all going to work on this series, some of the conversations and stuff we had. I don't know if you want to kind of segue on that and add a little bit to that one too.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to go back a little bit and then I'll tie into that is, you were saying that the people that aren't doing anything, they come in and they're all hoping to get some enlightenment. I think that's even one step further. They're coming in because they should. You said the word should. And they think that I have to show up just to be physically seen because other people expect me to be seen. So, okay, I'm here. I'm doing what I'm doing. I've checked that off the box. Everybody sees me. Okay, now I can go back and hide because they don't have any belief in themselves that they can. They're tired. I hear it with my clients is, but Cara, you don't understand. I'm sorry. That makes me laugh every time I hear that. But Cara, you don't understand. My circumstances are fill in the blank. No, everything's generic. Everybody has the same level of whatever their excuses are. So when we go into this connecting of self and work, it can't come one without the other. I used to teach, if you look at a coin and you look at a quarter, there's two sides of silver on either side, and in between there's a copper ring. And that copper ring to me represents love. So if you don't connect yourself through love to business or service, you don't function, period. You're not in a silo. You need to bring those two together. So that's what this is about. And when Chris and I were bringing this all together and mapping it out, it's really every single step of these 13 months, even though that there's a topic of sales or a topic of finance, no matter what it is, it's going to have that heart, that self-actualization. What makes you feel that you can or can't reach that goal? Let's look at that and let's move forward with actionable items to make you connect to that process. Instead of just hearing it, this is all about feeling. So it's about really putting it into a place in a space that they consume it in a different way. And that's what led me to digital, is because, like Chris said, okay, you get a binder and then it sits. I don't want it to sit. Everybody lives in this horrible contraption. So we can put that there to where it's not just looking at what they wrote, but they can read it back to themselves. They can see it. They can touch it. It's more tangible, and it's going to be fillable, so that way they can continue to add to it. I encourage all my clients to write. Just write, because it's the mind-body connection. And then when you read it back and you see it, then it lives, because you're creating your universe. Every single thought is the creation of your world. So that's where we wanted to put it in a more tangible way, where people can see it when they're on vacation or when their kids are at soccer camp. And, it's not something that's just a piece of paper that's forgotten. I really wanted to put this in their hands where they can seek guidance at any time and remember who they are. So how's that for a long answer short?
Action-packed. Love it.
It is. It's designed for that way. Hopefully it will connect with those that normally wouldn't connect, right? And the truth is, you can't get everybody connected. It is what it is. Here, the 80-20 rule always going to apply. The 20% are going to show up and do the other things that 80% won't. And that's just life. My goal is to hopefully increase the 20%, though, increasingly potentially grow, and grow that 20%, that crowd and those people. And then, my 3 C's this year are create culture, community, and collaboration. I believe a lot of things, value brings you in, but culture keeps you. and a lot of things people need. And you can create culture anywhere. Truth is, you can create culture. People talk about, oh, I love my brokerage. We have such great culture there. Yeah, guess what? Newsflash. You can create culture anywhere you go.
Come on.
You could be the culture, and you bring that with you. The energy you bring with you can create more culture. So that would never be a reason why I would say, I can't stay in one specific place because culture is so amazing there. It's a great experience of that, but you must move on sometimes in life to things that are progressively growing with you. And that's one other conversation. But yeah, so reality is, we want to tap into that. I do believe this series is going to be crazy. And the third piece, I think, is just consistency.
Mm-hmm.
Consistency is it. We talk about all these things, this whole entire conversation right now about you matter and how you matter with everything in life, the value of your worthiness, your belief system, your mindset, shifting the way you think, simplifying things in life, unreasonable hospitality, all these conversation pieces and focal points we talked about. But in truth, in all reality, execution, launching, and consistently doing something. So, which is why I'm doing it for 13 months. 13 months is every month there will be something here on the calendar, in life, in person, where they'll have something to adapt to and attend to. Where they do, they don't. I don't know. I'm going to create the water trough, so to speak, and hopefully they bring their horse and make them drink.
That's right. If you build it, they will come.
That's the key.
Build the dreams. Let's go.
Build the dreams. That I quote that all the time, and I actually just wrote that in, I think, our book. I think that's in there. If you build it, they will come.
Absolutely.
So I want to piggyback on you, Chris. If you haven't noticed, Ross, I'm Cara, he's Chris. We got the C's. He has his 3 C's, and this was unique to him before I ever really knew him. I have my 3 C's. I have about 50 C's, actually. So mine is the courage to have curiosity and clarity. So it's the courage. I am a communication coach. I speak about how to really communicate, but to have the courage to then get into curiosity and then get to clarity. It's all the C's. But one thing that I wanted to really hone in on is that for every single month, he's talking about it. He's building the trough, but I'm like that mama bear that wants to make sure that you actually keep going and that you have a connection to somebody for accountability. This is going to be driven in every single solitary month. Everything that we speak about is because you're not in a silo. You are not alone. We as human beings are not meant to sit without any interaction. We become the best versions of ourselves by the people that we surround ourselves with. We've all heard that. But if we don't have actionable steps that we believe that we can do and then commit not only to ourselves, but to that partner that's on the other side, we have a tendency to kind of fall away. I mean, shoots, just knowing that I have this deadline with Chris made me have this, I'm doing it, perseverance. I don't care how long it takes. I don't care how tired I am. I have excellence in me. Let's go. I had beast mode going this morning. I'm like, find a way to put that action at the forefront of your mind, because we table ourselves. We let ourselves go. We let our belief and our dreams and our desires set on the wayside. It's so much easier to put somebody else in front of us. Oh, you know what? They need me more than I need me. No, This is where Mama Bear comes out and says, no, you matter. You matter most. And if you don't put yourself first, nothing else, anybody else gets the best version of you. You matter most. So when they ask, what's the hierarchy of life? I believe that it's God, me, then the kids. And that's the way I feel, because if I don't function, they don't get anything. And if I don't have my infusion, they don't get anything, so that's just me. And that's the way I hope to have people understand that this is not a one and done. This is, we're going to breathe life into you for 13 months until you can come out the other side and have a different expression of action, a different understanding of who you are, a different way of building that step of perseverance every day. That's what we're doing.
Come on.
Woo! Let's go.
And there's just a Cliff Note version, everybody, of what you're about to get next year. Oh, love that. Nitrous
bomb, right?
Yes, nitrous oxide. Well, I'm excited to get this thing kicked off. Cara, I couldn't have thought of a better person to do this. I appreciate it. I think our lives were aligned naturally by God. The universe brought us together to build this. I think it was intended that way. Ross, I love you, brother, always. You're my boy, the hostess with the mostest. I love doing these shows every week because it kind of brings me back and grounds me and helps me express my feelings, my thoughts, my emotions, but also it allows me to give back in the same way in which you like doing, Ross, you do, Cara. We all love giving back. That's who we are. That's our purpose. And
Service.
we hope that those that are listening on this podcast this week are truly touched, maybe moved. If it takes one person to read something or hear something on this podcast and think that it's something that makes sense to them, man, that we won. We won.
Come on.
That's right.
So we're excited for that. Look forward to You Matter Series 2025, and also looking forward to the next series of Real Talk. Chris and Ross. Cara, thank you again for all of your time here. Ross, as always, man, again, thank you so much for that.
Nice to meet you, Cara. I can't wait to talk more in the future, too. I love it. It's good stuff.
Absolutely, Ross. Anytime.
Awesome, guys. Have a great week. Go out and crush it. I love you all.